Hi, I'm back. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night if you're about to sleep. Hi, my name is Phil, and welcome to The Freaky Filipino. Yeah, that's me. I know it's been a while, and yes, new setup. Looks fancy, right? But I'm still poor. Today we're going to talk about Hilot, an ancient Filipino massage. But actually, it's not just a massage, it's more than just a massage. So before we begin, I'm gonna tell you why I thought of this topic for today. Because as a matter of fact, I know how to do Hilot. Yeah, surprising, right? Well, it started way before when I was really young. My dad is a big fan of Hilot. And he would often bring people to the house to do Hilot on him. And if the person is not available, guess who does the Hilot? Yeah, me. I lived in his house, so I had no choice. So the manghihilos and albularis taught me how to do the hilot properly. And I did that for a couple of years. And I kind of stopped after my dad left our family. Yeah, sad story. But anyway, my hilot skills reawakened when I was in nursing school because massage therapy was part of the curriculum. I don't know if they still have it today, but yeah, I hope so they do. It's quite handy. So fast forward a few years, now my skills further enhanced when I entered as a fitness instructor, pole dancing instructor to be precise. Yeah, it doesn't look the part, right? Well, after every training, your body gets tired and you have a lot of muscle sores. So I would always get a massage therapy because massage spas are everywhere in the Philippines. Now, me, constantly being in the spas, I was able to make friends with the masseuse or masajistas and eventually taught me different techniques in hilot. So I practiced my hilots on my clients and also my co-instructors after training. So the end, that's all. So let's begin officially. Massage has been part of human skills in different culture. It is an ancient and primitive response to pain. Like any of us has experienced, hitting your shin on the table or chair, like ouch. Of course, our immediate response is to rub it gently. And our ancestors realized that there is a soothing feeling when you do this. And that is why there are different massages around the world in their own right and their own philosophies. Hilot, like a lot of people would think it's just a massage, but in fact is an ancient art, a Filipino healing art. The massage is just a part of a bigger system. It is a methodology, a process that uses natural food and herbs and physical and other techniques of energy manipulation to bring changes in the body. Hilot does not just focus on the physical well-being alone, but also mentally, socially, and spiritually. So in other words, it is a holistic approach. But the goal of Hilot is not to eradicate the disease, okay? No. But aims for the patient to be in constant equilibrium with himself. And this practice has been developed throughout centuries, even still practiced until now. So the people who originally performed the Hilot are the babaylans. They are the village shamans who serve as healers, midwives, spirit guides, and village leaders at the same time. When the Spaniards arrived, they demonized the babaylans as witches. So the base of the babaylan practice is animistic by nature because that was the belief of most Filipino tribes. They believed in the spirits residing in nature. And if you want to know more about the babaylans, well, you can go to my other video about the babaylan in this channel, of course. So soon after, the Filipinos had to adapt to the Spanish culture. So the babaylans had to change their titles in order to continue their practice. And there are a lot of names to these healers in the Philippines. And it depends on which area. One of the examples are manggagamot or mananambal. But the two common names currently used are the manghihilot or albulario. So manghihilot is translated as the person who does hilot. In some areas, this term is specifically for midwives, or sometimes they're just called hilots. Now, the albularios came after the term herbalarios or curanderos by the Spaniards. Now, in translation, they are the masters of herbs and plants. The albularios can be also called as faith healers in the community. The albularios are believed to be the master hilot, who has achieved a high level of harmony in thought, in feelings, and in action. But the manghihilot and albularis have a very thin line to their difference. But in short, they still carry the responsibilities of the babaylans. The only difference is that instead of reciting animistic prayers, prayers are based on Catholicism, because we were colonized. So another profession that practice hilot are the people who practice Filipino martial arts, namely the eskrima or kali or arnis. Well, according to them, Hilot and the Filipino martial arts go hand in hand. The coaches or masters know how to heal injured students, which is quite handy as a teacher, while some of the well-known albularyo's are actually masters in eskrima. Since our original healers were derived from the animistic practices, they harness their powers from the environment and the spirits residing in nature. So one of the well-known places for healers is Mount Banahaw. Mount Banahaw is an extinct volcano with rock formations where water flows around them in and out of the rocks, creating a vortex water with healing properties. Aside from the water, Mount Banahaw is known for its unique biodiversity of flora and fauna, and many of the plants in the mountain have medical properties. And the ecosystem of Mount Banahaw is close to the ideal human proportion of the 4 elements. You know, earth, water, fire, air. Avatar The Last Airbender vibes, which I will talk more about later, okay? So the pilgrims doesn't have to go to Mount Banahaw alone, okay? Philippines is huge. Now, there are plenty of places where the healers can go and recharge their powers. But again, Mount Banahaw is the well-known one. Now, Hilot is a dynamic practice which has its own concepts and philosophies. Now, in this part, it's a bit complex, but I'll try to simplify as much as possible, okay? If you want to know more the full details of the philosophy, I suggest you read the book Hilot, The Science of Ancient Filipino Healing Art, which I got all of this information from. Now, the human equilibrium has 2 factors, the inner change and the outer change. So this will be the tricky part, okay? So I'll try my best. The inner change is the harmony in the 3 human facilities of what the individual thinks and feels are in agreement with their actions. Now, the outer change are the 4 elements of the body, which is earth, water, fire, and air. So in parallel with the ancient Chinese beliefs that the universe is made from the primal elements, the human body also shares with the same components. Now, each element corresponds to certain biological body parts or process and encanto or elementals who allegedly caused it. So any imbalance with these elements, whether there's an excess or inadequacy, can cause a certain disease. Early Filipinos were animistic, so they blame everything to the spirits. So if you have any urinary or kidney problems, it was most likely that you were possessed by a mermaid. True story, y'all. But that was the only explanation of what the healers could give. So guys, lay off the alcohol. Too much water element in your belly. Now, a method used by the healers is called init lamig concept. Init means hot, like that's hot, which represents the congestion of electricity in a specific Hilot area. Lamig means cold, which represents the lack of electricity and ionization. Now, Hilot therapy is applied to remove the congestion and allow the free flow of electricity in the body system. Healers utilize different techniques ranging from acupressure, chiropractic, reflexology, and bentosa in order to distribute our neuroelectricity properly in all the concerned areas of the body.
Kasi itong dahon ng saging, ito ay negative ion. Yung katawan naman ng tao ay may positive ion.
So Hilot is in accordance to the natural law. Specifically, direction is from hot to cold, Hilot towards the lesser lumps. Now, long strokes are preferred to prevent hematoma or too much bruising, and pressure is slightly painful. Now, disclaimer guys, if you want to try Hilot, it's a bit painful than the regular massage. Now, we have a belief in the Philippines that getting too much air can cause sickness. Now, when I was a kid, I was a playful gremlin, and I always come home like wet and sweaty from the fun games outside. Immediately, I go towards the electric fan or the air conditioner to dry myself. Now, my mother would come up to me and say, "Ganan ka mamatay?" It is believed that the air would go to your muscles and create these lumps in your body. Now, these lumps create heaviness to your body, resulting to different diseases. We have a term for these lumps in Bisaya, and it's called panuhot. So it is advisable to have a massage regularly, and that is why you see a lot of massage spas all over the Philippines, like every corner, aside from karaoke bars, okay? Anyway, the lumps are actually tensioned muscles, which are painful to massage, but one way to release tension, and that is also the goal of Hilot, to remove the lumps. You have to harder, sir. Now, the healers have this common knowledge with regards to the normal state of a person. By simply observing you, he knows whether you're doing well or not. They just judge you, okay? Well, since they are masters of herbs, they are also familiar with the biochemical process of the body. It tells you what you need simply by looking at your outputs. You know, your outputs, poop, pee. Now, thanks to these healers, majority of the Filipinos nowadays have a common knowledge on different herbs or food that can be used when they are not feeling well. When your Filipino mom says, eat your vegetables, they are good for your health, huh? They are very right. Now, those vegetables that are in the Filipino dishes have a significance not just for the general health. In ancient times and even until now, when someone has cough and colds, the healers would sacrifice a chicken and recite a prayer, and later would use ginger and salt and rub it on the neck of the sick person. And if you think about it, these are the main ingredients of tinola, a Filipino chicken soup, which people eat when they have cough and colds. And a lot of these Filipino dishes and habits that are done today came from the healers and the Hilot process. Now, another method during the Hilot is the Oracion. Now, the Oracion is the banner of the Filipino healing tradition. Now, these are words or phrases that are mixed with Latin after the, Christians arrived, and the Manghihilot's vernacular tongue, but mostly come from an unknown language taught by the spirits to the practitioner.
Kalbi bukat lawag bukat lawag bukat lawag bukat hipinto patalakon hakiko ay mo dato ay mo salit barakot diwara hiwara Muhammad ora sila.
Now, the practitioners also invoke the names of the deities or the cultural idioms of the spirit world. The healers recognizes these energies or spirits have the authority to heal and responsible for the other paranormal activity. And people usually make fun of this method. This is some cray gibberish here, which is often misunderstood, but there is a scientific basis for this. This method and religious ritual praying uses EMF. What is EMF, Phil? Electromagnetic force. Yeah, we're heading to that area now. Electromagnetic forces are ever present, not just in biological bodies, but also heavenly bodies, such as planets and moons. Now, the purpose of EMF is to harmonize them within the solar system. Similarly, our body, which is composed of rotating electrons, are also influenced by EMF. But how does this work? The EMF process is evident in the Oracion. In the practice, it is invoking the spirits by uttering prayer words while touching or massaging the affected body part. In reality, the healer is not just uttering prayer words but vowel and consonant sounds in different sequences and patterns. It's quite simple actually. Well, not that simple. Well, it starts off with air turbulence in the nasal air passages, then creates sounds through Oracion, and turbulence induces friction that creates EMF. Then it brings forth patterns in the near electrical conductivity, and there is a unique ionization. Then it creates biological change to balance the 4 elements in the body. Yeah, I know it's a lot of sciencey shit going on that I can't really explain. But to make it simple, the healer creates sound patterns that initiate cellular ionization or causes change to the body. Whew, that was one of the most sciencey thing that I ever said here in my channel. EMF can be found in different healing arts in different cultures. It could be in the pranic healing, sound therapy, and mantras and Reiki. These may not cure the underlying disease, but supports healing or alleviates suffering. Now, I've talked a lot about the Hilot as a healing method, but let's also talk about how important it is in obstetrics and gynecology. Now, I haven't found much articles or books about Hilot methods in dealing with pregnancy, but it is strongly practiced in the pregnancy care in the Philippines. The Manghihilos, or the term Hilot, are the practitioners in childbirth for centuries. And again, it's still practiced until now. Usually, healers go to homes of childbearing mothers, but nowadays, women either go to hospitals or childbirthing centers for childbearing. But people in the provinces still rely on the helots because resources are not always available. And also, the midwives in urban areas carry the skills not just from their formal training, but also the ancient skills of our healers. Now, I'm going to talk about a special special skill in obstetrics. That's a difficult word for me. I know some of you are familiar with the Liput's maneuver. Liput's maneuvers are a common systematic way to determine the position of a fetus inside the woman's uterus. In short, it is a way of assessing the state of the fetus through the maneuvers by touching and massaging the woman's belly. Now, I did this back in nursing, and it's not that easy actually. You have to feel whether this is the baby's back, or this is the head, or these are the arms. At first it's a bit confusing, but you'll get used to it when you do a lot of these. But I've seen how the helots and midwives take it to another level. Boy, I need to tell you about this. The helots and midwives don't just assess, they rotate the fetus inside the uterus. Like, they do this supersonic massage to turn the baby. When I first saw this, I was like, what the F is going on here? Is this safe? And I thought about it for a while, and it made sense to me. Now, when the fetus is still floating, it means that it can still move freely in the womb. But when the baby is engaged to the pelvis, it's gonna be ready to pop out soon. The goal of the helot is that they are able to maneuver the baby's position before engagement. So they have to make sure the head is properly positioned to the pelvis, not the butt, okay? Because it will cause a lot of complications if the butt will go out first. I don't know if this is scientifically proven, but this has been done for quite a long time. A reminder that there were no doctors before, okay? And again, it's still practiced until now, especially in the provincial areas. Man, they produce children like rabbits. Basing on the siblings of my parents, my mother, they were 9, and I think my father had 12. Wow, talk about productivity. The government, though, encourages women to give birth in a proper birthing facility. Well, because of course, this is to reduce fatal risks for both the baby and mother, which is very logical, of course. But like I said, it's not always possible. So how is Hilot doing in the modern society? Very strong. It is practiced until today. Well, aside from the massage spas you can easily find, people still rely on healers and lots of alternative medicines. Hilot is also practiced, of course, in modern medicine, even taught in medical courses. Back in nursing school, we had to learn different herbs and alternative practices. Like, hello, my Filipino nurses. Community Nursing 101. Kapag may ubo, lagundi. Pag nagtatay, kay mito. I think we've covered a lot today. I think we should talk about this more, because this has been just left behind the shadows of the Philippines. Well, people just disregard this as a norm, but not a cultural implication to the society. But it has really played a large part of the Filipino culture. But disclaimer, guys, this type of practice does not replace the modern medicine, okay? This is just an alternative medicine. So still go to your doctors. And this is still a big problem in the Philippines until now. People would still prefer the alternative medicines because of the limited health facilities, workers, and also resources. Yeah, the government. I hope you enjoyed the topic for today. So before we end, I hope you follow me on my Instagram, okay? Because if you have any suggestion, you can just message me directly. I'm a friendly person sometimes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's topic, and I hope to see you next time, okay? So bye-bye.